Welcome to Creating Magic Podcast. I'm Danny.
And I'm Paula.
And I'm Mayuri from Spiced Volumes, a sort of reading club podcast where we read fantasy and romance novels and give our reactions. Today, we're doing a special episode crossover. Some of you might have seen Paula and I at Enchanticon trying a very special case. Danny, do you want to tell us about it?
Tamlin versus the Fandom. We have placed Tamlin on trial. We have the witnesses. We have the prosecutor. We have the defendant. We even have a judge. We have recorded the entire panel for your enjoyment.
It was quite a great time. It's something that I would love to do again. If anybody listening, watching, has any ideas or anything that they would love to see go on trial, redemption arcs, kind of different story plot points, an example.
Really anything that gives us a good debate.
A good debate topic. We're all very open, and it's something I would love to explore in future conventions because we had quite the time in this one.
Paula, would you like to share who one of our special guests and who they were?
So we had John from Between Pages and Friends join us as one of our witnesses. He was Resand. Many people know John from all his ACOTAR reactions. That's actually how I found him. I found them through a video where he says everything was going okay until Tamlin showed up. Freaking Tamlin. So that was like actually how I found their podcast. I was so excited to see them there, but also freaking out a little bit.
I got a text being like, Paula is freaking out because John. So, what we did with the witnesses for this, we very organically asked for volunteers. This is the first time we've done this. So, we got some online interest, and then we asked if anybody who was interested online was there in person, or if anybody else would be interested. So, John, we didn't ask him to be part of this. They very organically just like really hate Tamlin, I think. And so he really jumped at the opportunity. And I do want to do a special shout out to our other volunteers. The Middengard worm was my favorite.
My God. I almost peed myself. I was like, whoa.
So one of the things is because we didn't really prep anybody ahead of time, we had no idea what they were going to say.
And I think it's better that way. I think that
The
way that went
as an audience member and knowing
hysterical.
all of you, I was like, they were not expecting that.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. So like it's something, it was our first time doing it. We're working on refining it a little bit, but we really love it. We'd love to see it in different formats, with different questions and arguments and things like that. And yeah, I just really hope you enjoy.
And so here you go. I apologize in advance. Some of the sound quality was rough with the room and internet connection, so we had some drops. So there are subtitles, so hopefully everything flows smoothly and that you can understand everything. So until next time, enjoy this and keep creating.
Now, does everybody have a seat? There's still a few seats around if you're looking for one. If not, I appreciate you standing room only on this panel. It's going to be a trip. I will hand this over to our judge, Jenica, to get us started.
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
All right, fantastic. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. I'll be the honorable Jenica for today. How exciting, right? All right, so we're going to go ahead and calling the case of Kingdoms versus Tamlin. Okay, Tamlin versus the Fandom. Fandom versus Tamlin, whatever. All right, so let's go ahead and start with prosecution. Prosecution, can you please introduce yourself for the record?
I am the prosecution. My name is Paula.
Hi, Paula. Hi, Paula. All right, great, perfect. All right, I'm just gonna not. Everybody can hear me, right? I have one of those voices. I'm gonna turn it in real life, so. All right, and defense. Could you please state your name for the record?
Hello, I am the defense. I am the circle.
Yeah. was more than a whisper, please go outside. As you can see, sound does carry in this room. So we're going to try to keep things a little bit orderly, give our wonderful attorneys here as much respect as we can. Great. Laughs, applause, fantastic. Just, all right. Let's get to opening statements. So, prosecution, your opening, please.
Humans, fae, and Surreals alike, the evidence will show that Tamlin of the Spring Court restricted Feyre's freedom by confining her to the Spring Court manor. The evidence will show that he chose to ally with Hybern, a decision that placed his court and all of Prythian at risk. The evidence will show that under his rule, members of the Spring Court suffered and lost faith in their High Lord. This trial will show that Tamlin does not deserve a redemption arc or a happily ever after.
Rousing opening statement from the prosecution. Defense your response, please.
Tamlin does deserve a redemption arc. The evidence will show that he was a product of his circumstance and upbringing, warping his understanding of love and limiting his love map. Tamlin's actions and conduct were his way of protecting someone he loved. While his behavior may have been seen as cruel and harmful, he was a victim himself who deserves a chance to learn and grow.
All right, thank you, defense. So I believe we have some witnesses. We have a witness stand. Yes.
The witnesses will come up the stairs on this side, because there's no stairs over there.
Don't get down that way.
And they will be sitting here. Consider me a helper for you.
All right, so we're going to prosecution. If you would please call your first witness.
I call to the stand the Midgard worm. Midgard worm. When you faced Feyre in the pit, who fought you directly for Feyre or Tam? Who fought you directly, Feyre or Tam?
I studied Midgard worm in college.
Did Tamlin ever step in to the ring to protect her?
He was a little busy. Okay.
Those are all my questions.
Okay, defense. Do you have any cross-examination?
Midgard worm, who kept you as a pet?
And Marantha. That's me.
So is it safe to say that both you and Tamlin were victims of Amarantha's
Brain.
I guess. It was nice down there.
Thank you, no other questions.
All right, so we are alternating witnesses today. So, defense, your first witness, please.
Lucian.
Lucian, please stand. All right, defense, your witness.
When you were running from your family, who stepped in and took you in? That would be Tamlin. When Amarantha took your eye, how did Tamlin react?
Well, his claws definitely came out. He got a bit upset, but he helped arrange with Dawn to make sure that I would be taken care of. And he absolutely was not willing to stand for the loss of my eye.
So would you say that Tamlin was a good friend?
Tamlin was an excellent friend. As a High Lord, you could ask for no better friend.
Thank you.
All right, prosecution, your cross-examination, please.
Mr. Mancera. Did you ever raise concerns to Tamlin about Farah being restricted, being allowed to leave the home?
I did. However, I think it's important to note that as Tamlin took over as High Lord, we lost so much of the Spring Court that we really did not have sentries available for what really amounted to the whims of Farah. And I know she was feeling constricted. However, security was a priority at that time, and security of the court has to come first. We can't just pamper every princess that comes.
Mr. Mancera, when Tamlin cast you out, did you see it as an isolated event or part of a pattern of rash, destructive choices?
I mean, he didn't really cast me out. I left with Farah after Farah orchestrated an event to cause the collapse of my court, and I only left for my mate. I would not have left my High Lord for any other circumstance.
No further questions.
Now back to prosecution. Prosecution, your next witness.
I call to the stand the Spring Court citizen. Can you state your name for the record?
I am Laura.
How would you describe life in the Spring Court?
It's peaceful. It's nice year-round. I can't complain. I mean, there's no real threats if you don't go, deep in the dark woods.
What about after Tamlin allied with Hydra?
Well, he's got a little sketchy, but I still stand behind his decision, questionably. But otherwise, a lot of us went into hiding a little bit. A lot of people did leave, but it was his decision, and we're all loyal to our High Lords.
Were you required to pay a tithe?
Yes.
No further questions.
Citizen of the Spring Court. Compared to Tamlin's father, would you say that Tamlin was a fair ruler?
Yes.
The prosecution mentioned the tithe. Would you say that this was Tamlin's original idea? Or was it previously conducted under his father's reign as well?
It was previously conducted.
Thank you.
We have an additional question from the court.
The court asks, on behalf of the prosecution, I understand you feel that Tamlin was a fair ruler. You previously stated you had to pay a tithe. Exactly when was this tithe required to be paid? Immediately. Immediately after, you would say, a period of despair on the land? Depressingly. And were you able to afford the tithe comfortably? No. No further questions.
Miss Witness may step down.
back to the human world, what brought you running back to Caribbean? Oh, could you, my apologies. When you went back to the human world, what brought you back to Prithian?
I realized that I needed to see Tamlin and tell him how I felt.
And how did you feel?
I believed I was in love with him.
And after those feelings had changed slightly, when Hydra was chasing you through the war camp, how did you ultimately escape?
With Tamlin's assistance.
If Tamlin had not assisted, would you have become a prisoner of war?
More than likely, yes.
Thank you.
Prosecution, your cross-examination. Your nails are the way so
Family. A simple question. When you ask for pants or more practical clothing, how does Tamlin respond?
He didn't want to provide those things. He wanted me to continue to wear dresses and to be pretty like a doll.
Did you want to be pretty like a doll?
No, I did not. I was not accustomed to that.
What happened to your painting studio after one of Tamlin's rages?
It was utterly destroyed.
Did Tamlin notice your distress, or was it someone else who intervened?
It was someone else who intervened.
For the record, can you tell us who intervened?
I would you.
Where you felt the least safe?
The one where I felt the least safe was, I would say, was when he locked me in the manor, and Morgan from the night court had to come and rescue me at the behest of her secret.
No further questions.
Okay. Witness may sit. All right. Back to prosecution. Yes, prosecution, call your next witness.
I call Resand. Hello, Resand.
She's fangirl.
Negotiated Farah's safety during Amaranth's trials. Tamlin or you?
I did.
On Farah's wedding day, who stepped in when she was clearly distressed?
That would be me again.
When Farah asked to train her powers, who supported her?
I did.
Who opposed to her training? What happened to Prithian when Tamlin allied with Hydra?
Here, right? It's a small sidebar, totally.
Well, they were invaded, of course.
No further questions. The prosecution asked who helped Farah and out, but did you or did you not physically harm her?
Yes.
So you didn't fully help her, you also hurt her.
Well, considering. I was undercover at that time, so it was required.
Did Tamlin ever physically harm Faye with Thunder Rocket?
Not that I could see.
How long have you known the defendant?
Well over 500 years.
And did you or did you not train him and gift him his bandolier knives?
And I did.
Would you say that somebody cruel deserved to have a bandolier of Illyrian knives?
A lot's happened since then, sir.
And you've never once tried to take them back? Bad question. At the end of the Hybrid War, how did you ultimately survive?
Well, he gave me a drop of his power.
So if it was not for Tamlin, you would not be here to take the stand, correct?
Well, Feyre was the one that talked Tamlin into giving me that power.
But was it Tamlin's actions that saved your life?
It wasn't only Tamlin's power.
But if Tamlin had not stepped up, would you be alive today? Yes or no? Answer the question!
He was one of many who contributed to that.
We'll call that question answered.
Fine.
Okay, asking for your right.
This one might hurt a little bit. Can you tell us what happened to your sister and your mother?
Well, it's not something that I like to relive. But they were murdered by Tamlin's family.
By Tamlin's family or by Tamlin himself?
It was a direct result of Tamlin's actions.
That was not the question. Tamlin put the knife or the magic to your mother and sister.
To my knowledge, no.
Any questions? No questions. All right, this witness may step down. Thank you so much. That's your next witness. Any more? My next witness is Tamlin. Realism. We are calling Tamlin to the stand as the defendant in this matter. The court will advise Tamlin that under the Fifth Amendment of Corinthian law, that you do have the right to remain silent, that you do have, what is the actual wording now? You do not have to testify in any way that would...
Self-incriminate.
Yeah, self-incriminate. Jeez, yeah. Self-incriminate. Okay, great. Yeah, I'm just thinking, like, I know what you're on my page. Yeah. You do not have to self-incriminate. If you are asked a question, you are allowed to plead the fifth on the stand. However, please do try to answer every question to the best of your ability.
And just in addition to that, pleading the fifth is not an admission of guilt.
Yes.
Sorry.
Tamlin, how would you say your upbringing and childhood were?
like other possible High Lords in Oblivion, it was kind of brutal. We were always fighting for a position of power. I could not trust my family.
Did you want to be High Lord?
No.
So this position was thrust upon your broad shoulders. Because you were the next in line.
I was the only in line.
Why were you the only in line?
Because your dad is fit.
I believe in court I must plead the fifth to this question. To not incriminate myself for other crimes.
Say that last person line. You might get me on later, so I'll just shut up now.
I'm diplomatic community in the Supreme Court.
How would you say your time was under the mountain?
For the brief time that I was there, since I was actively working to break the curse most of the time, it was torture. Silent torture, but torture nonetheless.
Would you say if we hired a Prithian psychologist that you would be diagnosed with PTSD?
I have no knowledge of such a profession.
Is the prosecution objecting?
Yeah.
First objection. All right, so hold on. What we'll do is objection. What is your objection?
The defense is leading the witness.
Dude, you did that worse.
Huh?
You did more leading.
Is leading. It is leading. But I will allow it.
Would you say that you have mental and emotional trauma?
I don't know. But I don't know how other people feel.
Would you say that your actions towards Feyre came from a place of love and protection?
I love Feyre. She is a unique creature, and I've never met anybody like her before. And she loved me. I fully believe that.
So you were trying to keep her safe?
Yes. Everything that I know of the Night Court would mean that she's actively being harmed every minute that she's there.
So Rhysand earlier said that he was trying to protect Feyre. What evidence have you seen that Rhysand is a good guy?
Allegedly.
None.
Girl.
No further questions.
Prosecution, your cross, please.
I'm feeling a little stressed.
Can you hear me?
So
Can you hear me?
Act like she's like 5 feet further away than she actually is. Because even that with the microphone is not great.
Okay. How are you doing today, Tammy?
As previously mentioned, I'm a little stressed. But, hello everyone.
I love your talk. So.
Okay, you can take over for yes. I'm not an Akatar fan, so I'm gonna do my best. You're good. You're good.
Okay.
All right. Lord Tamlin, isn't it true that your first introduction was when you pursued her in her family home to address the death of her friend?
Yes.
Yes, and isn't it true that in reaction to the death of that friend, your recourse was to insist that she come back to your place and live as essentially a hostage?
Technically, I would like its own context. Then where should we go?
Okay. Now, would you call yourself an even-tempered individual? Let me rephrase it. Wouldn't it be true to say that you have been approached at least once or twice, maybe 3 times, about your emotions and your anger?
You could say that.
Have you ever, perhaps, moved objects in anger?
Sometimes.
Have you ever thrown objects in anger?
Yes.
Have you ever touched people in anger?
I am not in my mind when I surrender to the beast.
So it's fair to say that there is another alternative identity that you are claiming, the beast, that you consider separate from yourself, such that the beast's actions are not part of your own responsibility. Is that what I'm hearing? Take the fifth. Take the fifth. Take the fifth.
I plead the fifth. I forgot about that.
Has the beast ever come out around Farah?
I do plead the fifth.
There was a meeting, if I recall correctly, of all of the high lords, and at this point, Farah was with the Night Court. Does that come to mind?
They were goading me.
Were they goading you, or were they goading the beast?
They knew what they were doing.
We're going to say that that was you. So all of the actions that happened in that meeting, those were your actions. Lord Tamlin, not beast Tamlin.
I plead the fifth.
No further questions. No further questions.
In the meeting that was previously mentioned, would you say that your court was in good standing?
No, it had been burnt to the ground by Feyre.
Would you say that Feyre played off of your insecurities to further damage your court from within?
Yes, she did not know she could do that. I don't even know how that happened, but she made it happen.
So your only goal was to take care of your court and somebody else, some others, to take care of your fae, came in and caused mayhem at your own expense.
I would never interfere in another court that way. Yes.
Thank you, no further questions. Sure. This is in a very unconventional offense. Are there questions from the jury and the gallery on this topic? All right. We're gonna take Lucian.
On our point of, I know we had to meet the terms of the treaty when you took Farah, but didn't someone else force Farah into a bargain where they were forced to go to another court, but not for the benefit of all of Prithian, just for himself?
What he said.
I'm curious as to why this court hasn't called the Supreme Court therapist to the stand.
Apparently they don't exist.
No such position.
Right here. I call the Supreme Court
To have some semblance of order. Are there any other questions for Tamlin before we let him go? Back in the back.
realized that Farah was illiterate, and if so, why did you not seek to educate her as you truly loved her?
Anything she wanted. A painting studio, food. She never asked.
Except for pants.
I object to your assertion that pants are the fashion in the spring.
Pants have nothing to do with literacy.
It's very fashionable court. And I'm sorry, but I didn't need her to look unrestricted.
All right, come in. Farah. You said that you offered me everything. You offered me everything. Would you say you offered me everything except the freedom to go where I wanted?
The last time I did that, you climbed out a window and ran into a death trap.
Was the sun shining when I left you?
I wasn't there. How do I know that you left me and they didn't influence you with their powers of truth?
Any further questions for Tam? Oh, we still do, yes. Back there, and then we'll get to. Despite what Farah did to your court, you did still aid and save her and her sister during the war. Can you explain your motivations?
I have always and will always love Farah, even if she can't remember that. And in that moment, I had already realized that things were not going well, and I could not bear to see anything befall Farah.
All right, now we have one question over here, and then we're going to be done with questions for Tamlin. Yes.
Follow-up question from a previous question. You may not feel Grace's parent, her mom and sister, but where were their wings?
I'm glad you brought that up. So, after my father and brothers so horribly did something, and I took over, I did not think it was right what they did to their wings. So I respectfully took them down, and knowing that Resand would not accept them from me, I disposed of them as they should have been, so that their souls could be at rest. In fact, I did them a service.
All right. No further questions. Tamlin can step down and stay exactly where you are. Okay. No. No. I fought for you. All right, so no further witnesses. No further witnesses from either side. All right, so we're going to move on to closing statements. All right, prosecution, your closing statement, please.
Tamlin is not a tragic hero. He is not a misunderstood lover. He is a man who locked away the woman he claimed to love, who betrayed his people by allying with their greatest enemy, who let his court fall into ruin because of his pride. Not only did Tamlin betray Farah, but he betrayed mortals who were helpless. The defense may point to isolated moments, saving Reese, helping Farah, but a spark of decency cannot burn away a lifetime of destruction. In fact, Tamlin's diminution only proves Tamlin knew what mercy was and chose not to extend it to Pharaoh or his people. Selective compassion is not redemption. Trauma may explain Tamlin's actions, but trauma is not an excuse for abuse. Tamlin would not crown the woman he called his mate, but he did crown the very enemy who sought to enslave her. If he won't crown his mate, then redemption is too late. Members of the jury, Tamlin does not deserve redemption. He does not deserve a happily ever after. He deserves exactly what he created: isolation, regret, and the knowledge that his own choices destroyed what he claimed to love. In other words, if he crowns the foe, he's a dusty, crusty, musty-ass hoe. Thank you, Angel.
I mean,
Tamlin was a product of the circumstance. He acted in what he felt were the best interests of Pharaoh. We don't have his full story. We don't have the workings of his mind. This is why he deserves a redemption arc, to show that he's not inherently evil. He tried. And, yeah, I get it. The defense requests therapy and probation.
therapy. I think All right, so yeah, at this point, the jury deliberate very quickly. I know we have some extra time. We're just a very efficient court system. America takes lessons. So we are just going.
Does the judge have to consider mistrial based on the biased jury?
Well, I mean, yeah, there's a couple mistrials going on. Don't you? For the sake of this, no. There's also like no sequestered witnesses. There's a couple things. It's all good. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a vote. How do we want to do the vote? Do we want to do it one at a time, or do we want to do like lean a hand one way, lean a hand another way, and see which one? Okay. All right. So let's start with the prosecution. So all in favor of guilt. Guilty or not guilty? No redemption. Redemption. He did what he did. He is what he is, and he gets what he deserves. All right. All those in favor of that side of the case, please raise your hands now.
One hand, please.
They're cooked. All right, let's test that. We're going to call that a lot percent. All right, and then so the side of the defense, the side of exoneration, the side of redemption, all those in favor, please raise your hands. Therapy. Reparations. Yeah, that's a lot. All right, which I think means that the Honorable me, of Prithia, hereby rules that Tamlin has been found guilty and outside the scope of redemption.
Can I also be banished to my own castle?
Yeah, absolutely be banished to your own castle. That's all. Finish it.
fun way. So thank you to the audience for your participation. If you would love to see more panels like this in the future, there is a handy feedback button somewhere in the app.